Well, Professor John Edward Phillips, it's a pleasure to have you here on this very urgent, immediate kind of unscripted type of my show, Global Arena. There's something amazing that I found about the people of Japan. I don't know whether it is extended to other countries, that some people eat raw fish in Japan. When you say raw fish, does that mean as soon as you take it from the sea or the river, you just put it in your mouth and eat, right?
It has to be extremely fresh, but it is it's sold, it's wholesale, it's taken to restaurants. It's not just that they fish it out of the sea and then immediately eat it. You can go into any grocery store in Japan, and they have raw fish for eating raw. It's usually eaten with soy sauce and wasabi, which is a kind of ground up root that's used to flavor it. And it's quite a delicacy. It's particularly eaten at certain times like New Year's.
Okay.
But
so, okay, how does it taste? How does it taste? For example, I know inside the fish there must be a little bit of blood, I think so. And there is the fin. There are other things that need to be removed. I mean, how do you guys over there eat it? Isn't it disgusting?
Well, a lot of people don't eat it. I mean, foreigners in particular. But I have known. I had a Nigerian friend who has been to Japan a few times, and I know he really likes it. He told me when he first came to Japan that he really liked fish. So I told him about this raw fish that people eat, and he went to a restaurant and had it, and it was great. Again, it has to be specially prepared, and it has to be extremely fresh. I used to go a lot. I would work late in my office, and I'd go to the grocery store, and I would pick up the last hour or so before closing. They would discount it heavily because they have to get rid of it. So I would pack it up, take it right home, and just eat it, with a little soy sauce and wasabi.
Okay, you don't process it. You just eat it after buying it from the restaurant.
Yeah, it's just raw. You can get it.
Yeah, again, you didn't answer my previous question. How does it taste?
It's very delicate, and I'm not quite sure how to describe it. Because it is extremely fresh, and it has to be extremely fresh. And of course, each species of fish tastes differently. In addition to the salmon and some of the other species of fish, raw octopus and raw squid are sometimes eaten too. Even before I moved to Japan, I always liked octopus and squid. Those are common in Italian cuisine as well. But I think it's only in Japan that they eat them raw. Raw octopus is really chewy.
What is it the same? Like, is this practice extended to other parts of Southeast Asian countries like China, Taiwan, for example, Korea?
That's right. If you find Japanese restaurants in those areas, yes, but it's much more problematic in tropical areas. Raw oysters are a delicacy in the United States. I mean, it's not a Japanese influence. It's something that we eat. There was I got my last job at Hirosaki University. Some of my colleagues took me out to a Japanese restaurant, and the proprietor was asking, "Can you eat raw oysters?" Thinking that it would be something that I was not used to, and I asked for Tabasco sauce, which is Tabasco sauce was really made for eating raw oysters. That's how we eat raw oysters in the United States. I think I showed you that sign from Thailand where they had raw oysters Western style and raw oysters Thai style. The American style is much more like the Thai style than like what they meant by Western style was really French style. As I've had raw oysters in France too, but yeah, it doesn't work so well in the tropics. I mean,
because of the weather.
Yes, because of the heat.
Fish can easily get, the heat, of course. The fish can easily get rotten because of the heat.
Absolutely, they can get infected. There's a tradition in the United States to only eat raw oysters in months that have R's in them.
As in October?
September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, but then May, June, July, and August, because the weather is too hot, so you don't want to eat.
Yeah, you cannot eat it.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I was on Fulbright to Sokoto, there were some Japanese construction workers there, and they had
Sokoto, did you say Sokoto?
Yeah.
Sokoto State in northern Nigeria, northwestern Nigeria.
Yes. These Japanese construction workers had raw fish shipped out to them for New Year's, for the special celebration, but it was partially cured. It was not really raw. It was slightly pickled.
It was slightly what?
Pickled. I don't know how to say. It wasn't completely raw. It was treated. Because
it was treated.
The tropics is a real problem. I do not recommend doing this in the tropics. If you ever visit Japan, you should try it, just to see if you like it. But I would not trust it in Nigeria or in any other tropical country.
Yeah. So
again,
do Nigerians
raw oysters except in months that have R's in them?
Yeah, of course. Do Nigerians and other Africans try eating raw fish in Japan when they visit, for example, when they go for work or something?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I know one who's been here several times, and he always has the raw fish when he's here.
And they don't find it disgusting?
No.
Because we're not
it's not disgusting. It's not old fish. It has to be carefully prepared, carefully taken care of, and eaten very, very fresh.
That's great. Are there many Americans in Japan?
Yes. We're not the largest foreign population, but we are. Japanese people often assume that white or black foreigners are American, and it drives the European crazy. And to me, it's like revenge on the Europeans. You know, in Africa, everybody assumes that white people are Europeans. And in Japan, it's quite the opposite. And again, I've known, I know a Nigerian, in fact, who just has stopped telling people that he's not an American.
Does he have a black American accent?
No, he has but they can't tell. I mean, my students were shocked one time when I pointed out that Arnold Schwarzenegger was an immigrant from Austria. Yeah, because he has a very, very thick Austrian accent. He does not sound like an American at all. But they really couldn't tell whether he was Austrian or American, English or what.
Just like the wife of Donald Trump, she isn't American. She's also from Austria.
She's an American. I think
she's American.
Yeah, she's an immigrant.
Yep, but she doesn't have an American accent, which means she did not grow up in the United States.
Right, she's not native born. She herself could not run for president, and Schwarzenegger could not run for president because he's not a native born American. But he is an American. He was my governor. You know, I'm a Californian. Yeah. He was my governor, and he's a citizen of the United States, just like anybody else. The only disability to naturalized citizens, to immigrants, is that they can't run for president. But other than that, they have all the rights and privileges of any other American citizen.
What about Vivek Ramaswamy, one of the celebrities from?
He was born in the United States.
Okay. It was his parents that immigrated from India.
His parents were immigrants. Remember, Vice President Kamala Harris's parents were immigrants too.
Okay. But she was born in the United States.
Exactly. So she is eligible to be president. And Vivek Ramaswamy is also eligible to be president because he was born in the United States.
What about Melania Trump? Can she be the president of the United States if she
If she
wants?
gets elected, you know, you have to get, there's this very complicated system with the primary elections and nominations, and you have to get on the ballot, and you have to get a slate of electors from each state, and then you have to win the majority of the electors. It's a complicated system.
Yeah, of course.
They're eligible.
I think very soon we need to set up a panel interview to talk about the next election in the United States of America. I can see that the Republican Party nominees or aspirants are very much hotly contesting, hotly vying to be nominated. Of course, there was that hugely influential, not hugely influential, like hugely attention-grabbing debate that took place between Ross DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Mike Pence, among others, and the dominant, like what dominated the debate was about Donald Trump and his trial and so on and so forth. I think we need to set up an interview to talk about this as it is getting very serious in the United States of America. Everybody wants to be president, and then Donald Trump is still seen as the most powerful person in the Republican Party. And there is every possibility, if luck has it, he may come back. I know you're a Democrat. Yeah, sure. So let's end this.
If we discuss the elections, I want to try to be an objective scholar.
Yeah, sure. I know that. So let's end this because we're preparing for our next interview. Professor, thank you very much for feeding us with this knowledge about eating raw fish in Japan. And I'm sure we will find time to talk about other interesting things that are happening in Japan. Thank you so much, Professor John Edward Phillips.